Welcome to Between State Lines.
Hey guys, this is Holden. Before we get into today's show, I just wanted to put a trigger warning in here. For about the first 13 minutes of the show, we are going to be talking about the Epstein files and the accusations that were recently released about Trump and what awful things him and Epstein did to their victims. So if you don't want to hear about that, if it's triggering at all, please skip forward to about the 13-minute mark when we get into the creep corner. Actually, right now it's probably about the 14-minute mark. So, yeah, please skip forward and skip past that if that topic is very sensitive to you. We thank you and we love you. Well, welcome back to Between State Lines, episode 77. And holy fuck, Steph, I guarantee you have no knowledge of this, but we have a shit ton of info that is absolutely appalling regarding Trump and the Epstein files. So, as we talked about last week,
bag out.
Yeah, it's gonna make you angry, and yeah. So last week we discussed that a lot of the files were redacted, and that either through malicious compliance or just incompetence, the person that was redacting the files didn't do it properly and allowed people to like copy and paste the verbiage into like a Word doc, and it would show the whole thing. Well, they released more files that were not as redacted, and they had some pretty fucked up shit. So one of the things, the files included a 2019 letter supposedly sent by Epstein to convicted sex offender Larry Nassar. I don't care if I'm pronouncing his name wrong because he can go fuck himself. He is the former U.S. gymnastics team doctor who was convicted of a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
And since the letter got released, of course the DOJ is like, oh, it's fake, it's not real, whatever. The letter, which says Epstein sent it from a correctional facility in Manhattan, says that, and it's from 2019, this letter, it says that our president shares our love of young, nubile girls. And a letter, or a stamp in the letter, says it was returned to the sender. And the DOJ posted on social media that there were some inconsistencies with the letter, such as a Virginia postmark instead of a New York postmark, and the return address being wrong. And initially saying Tuesday, they were looking into the validity of the letter. They then said the FBI had concluded it was fake. That quickly, it was fake.
Of course.
So
just shutting it down.
Yep, of course. Now the second thing that was discovered in the files was references. The files reference an account from a limousine driver whose name has been redacted, who reported a very concerning phone conversation involving Trump while driving him to an airport in 1995. So 21 years before he was elected president. According to the document, Trump repeatedly said the name Jeffrey during the call and made references to abusing some girl. The document further states that an unnamed individual alleged that he raped me, referring to Trump, and that Donald Trump had raped her along with Jeffrey Epstein. And the statement continues by saying, some girl with a funny name took me into a fancy hotel or building, and that's how it happened. If you're not angry yet, just wait. The files also. Go ahead.
The part that I'm like, and nothing's happening
Nope.
because it's not real.
Nothing's happening. It's not real. It's all fake. It's
It's all in our
it's
head.
fabricated.
We're
All in our
all
heads.
crazy.
It's a big conspiracy to get Trump impeached again.
I don't understand. Like, how low is the bar? How low is the bar? And at what point do we do something? Or is it just we just never do something? It's just fine.
We never, because the thing is, like, I feel like we knew this is gonna happen. Like, we either knew it was
Yeah.
never gonna come out, or it would come out and they'd be like, "Oh, it's nothing. It's fake." Or if it's not fake, it's, well, times were different back then. Like, it's not his fault. He just was a party to the abhorrent things happening.
Yeah. This timeline's stupid.
Stupid as fuck. So
But I can't get away with speeding just a little bit.
you can't, we can't get away with. God forbid you have any kind of a drug in a state where it's illegal and you're in jail forever.
Yeah, I don't remember
And your
that
life
life
is ruined.
super well, but I remember it sucked.
Mm. So
Sorry.
Trump also flew on on Epstein's plane at least 8 different times, and some of those times with Ghislaine Maxwell. And if you recall, ladies and gentlemen, Trump has, okay, I'm not remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure he said he flew on it once or never with Epstein, which either one was a lie.
Yeah, I feel like he said a lot of things. Yeah, I feel like he said a lot of things.
Said a lot of things, made a lot of shit up.
Yeah, and I feel like we've all known for a long time that it's all been bullshit and that one day it's going to be exposed, but it really doesn't change anything, does it?
Nope.
Yeah,
The party
feels so
of
helpless.
the party of family values sure loves to protect pedophiles and
Yeah, like
rapists.
I just didn't know how did I end up on the timeline that protects pedophiles?
And so the woman that said that Donald Trump had raped her with Epstein, by the way, I forgot this one little tidbit. She came forward and reported her rape to the FBI or the police, and she had stated that she was scared to do so because obviously Trump was powerful and Epstein was powerful, and as she thought, she was ended up being killed, and it wasn't like a simple, like, you know just gunshot. Her head was blown up, and not only that, when the police found her, the police reportedly said there was no way this is a suicide, the way that her head was fucking blown up, and the coroner said no, it's a suicide. So yeah.
And she was
Mhm.
scared. I wonder why.
I wonder why. And this one is honestly probably the worst of them all so far. I'm sure there's more, but this is the worst. A woman told the FBI that when she was 13 years old, Donald Trump watched as her uncle murdered her newborn child and dumped his body, or his or her body, into Lake Michigan. And it's unclear, according to the documents and the DOJ, whether the FBI ever investigated her claim. And in the document, the unnamed woman says Trump participated regularly in paying money to force me to redact it with him, and he was present when my uncle murdered my newborn child and disposed of the body in Lake Michigan. 13 years old. 13 fucking years old.
Like, I knew that there was going to be some like messed up stuff in there, but I didn't know that that was a possibility, and that that's that's our president. That's a man who makes too many decisions for all of us. That's terrifying. This
Not
is
only is
so fucked up.
not only is he our president, he was elected twice, and he's the most power, like if not the one of the most powerful people in the world.
Like, I can't handle it. It's so
Mm,
much. And yeah, just have to be here.
yep. And I will add I should have done this before I start opening my mouth, but I'm gonna add a trigger warning before this because I definitely did not think before I spoke. Um, so don't worry, I will add a trigger warning to this.
Good
Um,
plan. Good plan.
yeah,
Let's-
I just sometimes I think and then I open my mouth and I'm like, oh, I should have said something before, and then I'm like, oh well, at least we're not live. I can post edit.
Thanks a
So,
lot.
thanks a lot, Holden. So
Oh, no
that
worries.
is that's our awful, and then, of course, Trump is his big thing now. Today, he said that he doesn't understand why they keep releasing files and like when are enough files released. The answer is when all of them are released, like and unredacted. That's the fucking answer. That's the end.
Yeah, I just don't understand that response. I don't understand. That's insane. That's insane.
He said that people are using this to distract from the success that the Republicans have had in this country. The success, mind you, that is not it's not happening. There is no success. There is
Yeah.
no good shit happening in this country. It's all bad.
Yeah. What success?
Yeah, well, fucking success. Like
I don't want to ask though,
success,
because I'll make
successfully
something
getting
up.
yourself impeached next year. Sure.
Doesn't seem to matter though.
No, not at all. He'll just go on living his life. So that was a pretty intense way to start. So we'll move on from the political corner because that was a lot to digest in such a quick amount of time. And we'll go on to the creep corner. A little more lighthearted shit here. So
Can't wait.
you can creep corner. All right. So this is from Reddit, and again, these are stories that people have said happened to them. So some of them I read, and I was like, "Holy shit, this is terrifying." Um, this first one is from user Bonsai Diver. Cool name, by the way. Um, one night when staying at my parents' house, our daughter started crying because she needed a diaper change. My wife and I both went to her. At this time, our daughter was old enough to walk, but not old enough to talk. After the diaper change, our daughter wiggled her way down to the ground and proceeded to walk down the hallway. She didn't stumble her way there, but walked intentionally. At first, we thought the light in the hallway had gotten her attention, so we let our daughter walk down the hallway. Reaching it, our daughter turns, looks down the hallway, and starts waving to someone. But it was in the middle of the night, and the hallway was empty.
Kids, I would pray that was nothing. I don't know. I would convince myself it was nothing. I swear I saw some scary things when I was living in Arizona. When my daughter was an infant. Like, I swear, like, there was, like, times that, like, blankets moved in ways that I was like, there is no way that could have moved like that. And I was like, you're fucking losing it. But I just experienced it there, and it was just postpartum, so I don't know.
I mean, it could. Well, I don't know.
At
Could have
least
been
I'm pretty sure it
postpartum.
was just there. Honestly, I feel like maybe also in Washington in the first apartment, but that wouldn't surprise me because that was the apartment that, like, all of the roach things, and oh god, that place was bad vibes.
See, I don't know. I am undecided on whether or not I believe in ghosts. I think it's just there's too much. I don't know. It's just it's too much unknown in our world for there not to be ghosts. Like
That's fair.
it's just that you can't explain it. It's like okay, maybe like some of the things people see or hear or feel are easily explained, and then some things you're like, I mean, that's not easily explained. Like the phone calls from people who um are saying goodbye to their loved ones and like ended up having died like a day before. Like that shit you can't really explain.
Yeah. Yeah. I, I don't know. But how did they get so lucky?
Maybe there are certain people who are I don't want to say sensitive, but more like in tune maybe with reality and they're able to like connect briefly with other people, other worlds or other realities.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know. Because, yeah, otherwise, how did I see that blanket move like that? Was that one just really strong? Or was I going through something postpartum and I was losing it a little bit? I don't
Or was it a rat?
know. No, there was definitely nothing there, and it moved in a way that was like something picked it up. And I was like, how did that happen? Like, I just like felt like I don't know, I was rebooting. Like, I did not understand. And then I just convinced myself that I must be a little bit nuts.
You just gaslit yourself.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure that that's what I would do unless it was like consistent enough. Maybe. Maybe I could
No,
gaslight
you
myself
wouldn't.
more.
You wouldn't. I already told you I'd be haunting you and putting like things in the sink, but
No,
don't
but
go
okay.
there.
But in the last podcast, you said that you wanted a ghost to be helpful. How come you get to be a menace, but if a ghost is in your house, they're going to be helpful?
What I
You're going to
said
put them to
is
work.
I I said if you're gonna be in my kitchen fucking with my dishes, at least have the courtesy and decency to put them away the
Yes,
right way. However,
exactly.
this is a case where it doesn't apply to me, it applies to them. So if I'm a ghost, I can just do whatever the fuck I want. And
But see,
honestly, okay,
that's
here's
bullshit.
the here's the thing. Okay, maybe I'll fuck with your dishes, right? I'll put them in your bathtub. But like the next morning after you see them, you'll see them magically like float up in the air and go back into
Okay,
your
so
cabinet.
you're going to put them away. I don't have to
Well,
spend the entire
I,
day putting them away.
okay. Let's hold the horse here. Let's go back to my whole ghost baby thing. I didn't say I'd put them away. I'd say you would see them floating, and maybe it's the ghost baby army I have that they do my bidding and clean up after my menace, Dennis the Menace era.
I don't really care how it gets done. I just think that if you're a mess, like I don't have to do it.
So what you're saying is you're okay with an army of ghost babies.
What you do with your cleanup and whatnot, that's entirely out of my hands. I
You're
do
okay
not
with
set the rules for the afterworld. I simply want to know that if you are fucking with me after you die, that you will, in fact, clean up after yourself. Because I don't have the energy. I don't. And that could drive a girl crazy. And I know that on some level, that's exciting, but don't do it.
So I'm gonna do something a little more subtle and less chaotic. All right. So I assume in your bathroom you have a hook for your towels, right? When you're in the shower or somewhere to put. Okay. So I'll put the towels. You'll go take a shower, and I'll move the towels like just ever out of your reach, so it makes you inconvenienced enough where you have to like get out or fall out of the shower, and
That
like
sounds
that's my.
stupid because that's miserable.
It would annoy you though, and it would like be
It's
like,
miserable.
oh, fucking hold
Get out
on.
of here. Yeah, I would sage the place.
You would you would sage the place to get rid of mine and Betty White's ghost babies.
Yeah,
That's horrible.
for sure. Get out.
Story number 2. Not a spooky ghost story, but the creepiest thing I've ever seen was working at my college job. I look a lot younger than my age in general. A 50-year-old man was, of course, this is a fucking man. A 50-year-old man was intently set on talking to me and getting up real close to me while he did so. That alone made me incredibly uncomfortable. And then he asked, "By the way, how old are you?" And when I said 24, he looked at me with an absolutely disgusted look on his face and said, "Oh, I thought you were way younger than that." To this day, I am creeped out by that single comment.
Yeah, disgusting. I can't.
This next story is from user Velvet Rose. And the question they were asked was, "What is the creepiest thing you've ever woken up to?" And this person said, "Someone standing in the bedroom doorway. He flipped on the light, then flipped it off. I woke my husband up, and this guy walked out of the apartment. My husband ran after him in his underwear, and I went to the kitchen and got a knife and ran after my husband. Turns out the previous tenant who lived there before us had broken up with her boyfriend and moved without telling him or getting his key back or her key back. I guess he came back to see her at 3 in the morning." I feel like I feel like this has never happened in my life, but you should like every apartment should change keys
Mm-hmm.
before the next person moves in because of thing like this happening. Like this shouldn't happen.
Yes. But this has happened to me.
What?
Not
Really?
a stranger. An ex-boyfriend, though. Just kind of helped himself into my apartment once. And I woke up to like a man's voice outside my bedroom door, like, "Stephanie, Stephanie." I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And so I opened my bedroom door and I was like, "What?" And apparently he's up to no good. There was a cat paw that just went under the door. But he's up to no good. And there was a police officer, so he like pulled over his car, went to my house, found out where it was through my roommate. I guess my roommate went to bed, but he like helped himself through the back door because she had it open with like the screen door open or closed because it was hot or something. I don't know. So he just like walked in. Yeah, it was. I had to give him a ride back to his car across town.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Just
to be young and
be
dumb.
young, just waltzing on. Jesus
Yeah,
fucking
because I'm
Christ.
just like I didn't know what to do. I was just like, okay, I guess I'll take you back to your car so you'll go way.
I'm honestly surprised you did that. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Go walk.
Well, it was like right when I started dating my kid's dad, and he had stayed like 3 nights in a row prior, and that was like the most that I had seen him. And then he doesn't stay the night, and all of a sudden there's like a weird man's voice at my bedroom door, and I was like, "Who's this?
Jesus Christ.
What's going on? You get out of here!" But yeah, so I have woken up to somebody at my bedroom door, some weird man. It wasn't a silhouette though. He did not open my bedroom door, which was like oddly. That was oddly nice. Thank you. Thank you if you're listening.
I thought you were gonna say, um, yeah. I don't know the word I was gonna say.
Oddly
Yeah,
comforting that he didn't.
oddly. Yeah, there you go. Oddly comfort.
Yeah. Thank you. It was oddly comforting, oddly kind, thoughtful. I don't know. Thanks for some boundaries. Not the whole help
Holy
yourself
fuck.
into my apartment and whatnot, but
Jesus Christ. I'm glad I can safely say I never had that happen. I'm glad I never had that happen because I can't say I'd react the same way.
well, didn't I tell you about the guy that just like walked into my apartment when I was living in Vancouver? Some guy walked in and I was having a Zoom meeting with my boss, and I was like, "Hello?" He's like, "Oh, I'm looking for this person." And I was like, "Oh, she lives next door." Like, helped him out. Yeah, my boss is like, "You're really kind to strangers." Strangers entering your house. I was like, there was
Not
a big
just
thing of water in between my desk where I was and him, and he's like, "What is he, a gremlin?" It's really good.
Jesus, man. Yeah, again, way kinder than I would be in that situation.
I'm just like,
I'd
"Hello,
be like,
here's the door.
"Hello, governor."
Thanks for coming in.
Uh,
This is not where you were meant to be. Bye bye."
um, this one's from user O underscore posterity. My childhood friend was about 15 and home alone over a long weekend while his parents were traveling. But on Saturday night around 7 or 8 p.m., he was in his bedroom upstairs when he suddenly heard his mom call up the stairs to come get dinner. He popped his head out of his room, confused as fuck, but nobody was there. So he called down, "Mom, are you home already?" There was a long beat, but then after a few seconds, his mom walked slowly around the corner, coming from where the kitchen was, and looked straight up at him from the bottom of the stairs. She just smiled and then walked right back into the kitchen. My friend was frozen in place for a moment, but then again, he heard her call him to get dinner. He said the only reason he didn't just walk down the stairs to see what the fuck was going on, and why she was home so early, was because he thought it was strange she didn't talk or utter a single word when she appeared. Like, why did she just smile at him and then walk away?
Yeah.
It didn't sit right, the fact he never saw her open her mouth. He could hear her and he could see her, both plain as day, but never at the same time. Uh, and that smallest of details is why he chose instead to slam his door shut, lock it, and call his mom. She answered immediately and was still several states over, hundreds of miles away. They ended up calling the police for fear of an intruder, but they never found anyone in the house. It was all locked up with the security system on and everything. He did not sleep there alone anymore after that.
Yeah, that's fair.
If it was me in the situation, I called my mom to confirm that it's not her. I'm going downstairs and I'm fighting. I am like, because here's the thing. I record it. Number one, I'd have proof of whatever the fuck this is, a mimic or a skinwalker, whatever it is. I'd have proof, right? Finally. And two, I get to fight something. Like for an inhuman person, I get to fight them.
No. They would kill you. Delete the footage. Everything's the same.
They'd be like, all right, I'm going to murder this guy and make sure I pull his phone out, delete the footage. Can't have it.
Probably just destroy the phone. Probably own the phone company. Who knows?
But like, to be honest, like, honestly, what's the worst that could happen to you downstairs? If you like, they would probably have killed you already if that was part of their plan. So like, it's probably a mimic that's trying to.
You're not supposed to
I
follow
don't
them.
know. What happens if you
When they
do?
call
Is it
out
like,
to you, you're not supposed to follow them. I don't know.
I think we need to
listen
figure
them.
that out. We need to figure out what happens. Like, who if you follow this mimic into the unknown, do you get like captured? Do you become a mimic yourself? Or are you killed?
You
I'm so
go for
curious.
it.
If anyone listening to this in the chat, if anyone has experienced this kind of thing and you actually went downstairs, let us know. I really want to know what happens.
If you followed the voice
And
what happened?
survived. If you didn't survive, I don't want to hear your story. But if you did survive, I want to know.
If your cousin didn't survive, your brother, sister, let us know. You're credible.
If you are the mimic yourself, I would like you to come talk to us on the
Holden.
podcast.
Specifically.
Because I have some questions for you and some requests to make. I would like to use your services. Can you imagine you using a mimic, right? You pay them handsomely to rob a bank, right? They don't have your DNA. They're just like, they look like you, okay? But you have a solid alibi. This is like an alibi that cannot be disproven. Like, you're at the police station hanging out, like on a ride along, right? There we go. You go to the police station on a ride along while your mimic goes and robs the bank. You get
I
the
thought they'd
money.
have to make it through the whole bank robbery. That sounds like a lot.
Well, they're a mimic. They would just mimic me, right? At the robbery,
Yeah,
and then mimic a police officer and make an escape.
that sounds very demanding of them. Maybe it
But they
doesn't
get
work like that.
half the money.
I'm just saying, maybe it doesn't work like that.
If you're a mimic, come talk to me.
Specifically.
Yes, you can impersonate anyone in my life, including Stephanie.
No.
And I'll go talk. No, impersonate you.
No.
In like, I'll be at the grocery store and then bam, there you are.
Nope.
That's a shame.
Not me.
Okay, I can mimic your mom.
Don't
I don't know what
bring
your
my
mom looks
mom
like.
into this.
I don't know what she
You
looks
know
like, but
tell
but
my
yes, you would that I'm requesting a mimic.
Yes.
Copies her voice. Susan. Okay, so the last story I have is from Redditor user _ wine country girl. Now I don't remember this, but my mom does very vividly, as you can imagine. When I was 3, she and her friends were getting ready to go out to the bar in the next city over. My mom, being super young when she had me, was often out on the weekends with friends, so this wasn't unusual at all. However, on this night, I, a usually super well mannered kid, threw the biggest tantrum of my life, screaming at the top of my lungs, throwing myself around, throwing things, etc. All because she was leaving. She was super mad because she couldn't leave me like that with a babysitter, especially since she felt something was wrong because this is very unlike me. Her friends left and she stayed home with me, still pretty pissed off at the toddler me. The next morning, she and I walked to my grandmom's house to use the phone. There were no cell phones yet. She called her friend's house to hear about the night and how it went, and her friend's mom answered. They had been trying to get a hold of her all night as there was a horrific car accident. All of my mom's friends, except for the driver, had passed away. Had she gone, there was no way she would have survived in the car. Still haunts me to think about to this day. My mom never really recovered from it.
Oh my god. That's nuts.
Can you imagine?
No.
There were like similar stories that happened like 9/11 where somebody like got sick, stayed at home, or like just didn't want to go to work and they didn't go to like the towers and stay at home, and then like their life was saved.
That is just so crazy. I can't imagine how often that happens regularly.
I think about it all the time. Like you think about, like there have been times where I have been delayed leaving because my daughter is taking forever to get in the car seat, or
Mhm.
like I'm just running late, and like I get on the road and like see a car accident ahead of me. It's like a pretty bad car accident. Like that could have been me if I
Yeah,
had been on time.
yeah. I just can't imagine. How many near death experiences do we all have that we don't even know about?
I told you my 2x4 story on the highway, right? Right, hit by it. Yeah, that shit's terrifying. Can't believe I survived that.
Share your
Inches
recap
away.
in case anybody missed it.
I should do that. Yeah. So when I was 10 years ago, I was driving home on the highway, and a 2x4 fell off a truck and smashed my windshield. Um, and I was fine. The windshield was fucking busted, but it was so close to going through the windshield. It happened to hit the frame of my car instead of the windshield head on. So it kind of ricocheted off of the windshield instead of going through it. And again, I was going like, I don't know, 70 miles an hour on the highway to like full speed when this thing hit me. And I just remember like the driver obviously didn't know it happened. And it's like me with a fucking like busted windshield, can barely see out of it, chases
Yeah.
down this truck driver and like cut him off and make him pull over.
My God. I can't. Yeah. I can't imagine how that went.
Fun times.
Shit. Excuse me. Excuse me. You hit me.
I'm like honking my horn, like, you fucker, pull over. I should have sued them. I should have fucking sued them for a lot of money, but I was young and dumb.
Those are different times.
Yeah, Obama was president. We weren't fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have squandered that these days.
No, absolutely not. Never. um cool. So beef corner. Fuck you, Subway.
Fuck you,
Always.
Subway.
Always and forever. Fuck you, Subway. I
Sorry, I
do
made you
recall
watch that long Subway advertisement.
that was so funny. I was guessing the entire time. I was like, is this a diaper ad? Is it like a clothing ad, like a Nike ad? Like, no, it's a fucking Subway ad. Wild.
Yeah. I was like, gotcha.
You fucker.
It's little
Uh,
things in life.
I I realized that the other day when I was thinking about how much I hate Subway, I was I was like, when I worked at this laser tag place, like again, 8 years ago, 10 years ago, I there was a Subway next door, and I would eat Subway there at least 3 times a week during my shift, and I would get like this is back when I hated tomatoes and onions. I would just get like turkey, probably bacon, cheese, the bread with ranch on it instead of mayo, just ranch. I would
Oh
eat it,
God.
shit my brains out at the bathroom.
Live your best life.
Rinse and repeat the next day.
I
You're
used to
welcome.
eat their like teriyaki chicken sandwiches. Ooh, but my favorite thing from any sandwich place is their veggie sandwich. I love a veggie sandwich
Wait, in general or from Subway?
in general.
Okay.
So I used to get the veggie delight, but I love a good veggie sandwich. I just don't go to Subway anymore.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Subway.
Yeah, fuck you, Subway. I'm like Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's is banging by far. If I was a wealthy person, I would get them like at least once a week, but I'm not wealthy. So
Yeah, just don't even need a
be
good
responsible.
sandwich. I like to just get like a good Italian sub from the grocery store, just like one of those big ones. Just like snack on it. It's so many
What are
meals.
what are your thoughts on Chipotle? I feel like it's kind of like a polarizing place.
I don't have polarizing thoughts on Chipotle. It's
Do you like it
good. I
or do you
wish that
hate it?
it was. I don't feel the leftovers are as good as everyone says they are, but I think it's good the first time around. Yeah,
Yeah. See, I
it's too much food
I
for it to be just one time around.
see I don't know. I used to hate Chipotle, but I've had like a second coming to Christ moment in my life where like the
Okay,
last 2 years, year and a half, I've been like I love Chipotle for whatever fucking reason. Like I know it's not authentic Mexican food, but for whatever reason, I
it's a
like
spot. It's what it needs to be. It's not supposed to be authentic Mexican food. We're not going to an authentic Mexican restaurant. It's a fucking bowl. That's what I get there. Burrito, whatever you get.
the have you had Cafe Rio?
I feel like no, but maybe
That's
I've smelt it. I feel like maybe I've seen it
Cafe
at like the Blazer game.
probably. Cafe Rio is like it puts Chipotle to shame. It's so fucking good. Like their barbacoa, pork barbacoa. Oh my god, that shit is orgasmic.
Yeah, I think that
So
maybe
good.
maybe I've seen it at like the Moda Center. I think that's what it's called now.
You know what I discovered the other day? Around late night, internet browsing while stoned.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, and this only happens to women. I don't think it happens to men, at least from my research, limited research. Women can get exercise induced orgasms, like completely unintentional because like how the pelvic floor is
Mm-hmm.
wild.
That makes
I
sense
cannot
to me.
like imagine that happening to somebody. Like how embarrassing that probably be to like have that. Not it shouldn't be embarrassing, but like just being in the situation where it happens to you. Mm.
I don't. I don't. That just makes sense. Yeah.
Anatomy makes
Yeah.
sense.
I don't. I don't think that sounds embarrassing. It just sounds like it makes sense.
So on to the main topic. I like how I'm gonna pivot from that to the main topic. Oh, and also fuck you, Ice, and fuck you, Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. Good for them.
The usual.
Like anybody else?
And fuck you, Jeffrey Epstein. You're dead, but still fuck you.
Yeah.
And every other fucking person who is in this administration, because you're all fucking awful people. So a few months ago or last year at some point, we discussed cursed objects over a 2-part series. So that was basically things that are haunted, specific items. But I was able to find some places that are actually have curses behind them, that led to people dying, bad things happening to the area or like the city or like the state, whatever. The first one is the curse of King Tut's tomb, which always reminds me of like when they had during COVID when they had the whole like recreation of the mummy's voice, and like they were so proud of it, and it was just the guy going ugh. So when the it's such a great fucking the best thing to come out of the pandemic. Ugh. And it's like these scientists were so proud. They're like, we did all this work, and they should be proud, but like, ugh. That's all they fucking got.
They worked really hard on that, okay?
I hope that's the way I die. I hope when I die, I make that sound. Like, go, ugh. Like, that's my death rattle. It's like me going, ugh.
Hopefully somebody catches it.
I'm gonna do that though. If I know I'm dying, like if I'm 99 years old and I know I'm on my deathbed, I'm just gonna do that like 10 times a day. Eventually, I'll be right. Hopefully. And then I can haunt you as you're 110 because you're about 15 years older than me. So, so when the entrance to King Tut's tomb was uncovered in 1922, it wasn't discovered the way most archaeological sites are. It was quote unquote revealed. The seals were still intact, the chambers were still closed. It was as if the tomb had been waiting, perfectly preserved, for somebody to make a mistake. Ancient Egyptians believed names, bodies, and resting places were sacred anchors for the soul. To disturb them was not curiosity, it was interference. So the first deaths came quietly and without spectacle. Lord Carnarvon, the man who made the discovery financially possible, didn't die in the tomb or even in Egypt. That's what unsettled people the most. He died days later, far away, from a trivial injury that turned fatal with terrifying speed. A mosquito bite, an infection, blood poisoning. So he got bit by a mosquito and he was shaving and then nicked the mosquito bite, which then bled and poisoned his blood. And then got,
That's all it takes?
the infection's all it takes. At least back then. Like, this is 1922.
Okay.
So probably now it wouldn't happen, but like back then. At the moment he died, Cairo reportedly lost power. And this I could not verify this, but reportedly lost power, plunging the city into darkness. Stories spread that his dog collapsed and died the same night. Whether coincidence or omen, the message felt pretty unmistakable that the reach of the tomb was not confined to stone walls. But after him, others followed, though not all at once, and not nearly as dramatically. A visitor to the tomb would fall ill shortly after seeing it. A colleague would decline for no clear reason. George J. Gould, who was wealthy and at the time very healthy, toured the burial chambers and died days later from a sudden fever. Arthur Mace, who worked closely with the artifacts, never fully recovered from his time there and slowly wasted away. The deaths happened far enough apart to be dismissed, but close enough to feel connected. Even those who never believed in ancient magic began to feel uneasy. Workers refused to enter certain chambers alone. Rumors spread that something inside the tomb resented attention that the king, buried young and violently displaced in life, would not tolerate disturbance and death. The most chilling moment came years later when Hugh Evelyn White, an archaeologist connected to the excavation, took his own life. Before he died, he reportedly wrote that he had, quote, succumbed to a curse. To believers of the curse, this was not the most damning evidence of all. This was the most damning evidence of all. It wasn't a sudden illness or accident, but a man convinced something unseen had finally caught up with him. By then, it no longer mattered that that some survived. The curse didn't need to kill everyone to be real. It only needed to kill enough people to be believable. And today, when people stand before his artifacts or descend into the Valley of the Kings where he was buried, the story lingers not because of what was proven, but because of what was never disproven. The tomb was sealed for over 3,000 years, and the moment it was opened, death began to follow.
I mean, when will we ever learn?
I mean, yeah, if I was, an adventurer back in the day, that honestly probably would have been me. I would probably go into the tomb and be like, yo, what up, King Tut?
Yeah,
Yo,
that would
yo.
be you. Mm-hmm.
And you'd be right there with me, behind me,
No,
cowering behind one of the boulders.
and say, send me a postcard when you're not dead.
Then I
wouldn't
you'd
get
like
one.
to go.
Then I'd know.
I do think it'd be so cool to go, like, in the tombs of some of these pharaohs, like the lavish tombs, and like see how they were buried.
Mm-mm.
You're never up for the adventures that I would be up for as a wealthy person. Okay, let me ask you a question then. All right, so let's say I had won
This is
the
what you'd want to do
1.8.
with your wealth?
I mean, it's better than putting it into, like, capitalism. I would just, like, spend money on plane tickets to go visit artifacts and shit, maybe. I don't know.
Go explore ancient tombs. Haven't you
Hey,
seen the movie?
I would donate. I loved the mummy when I was a kid. It
Yeah,
scared me, but also I loved it.
exactly. Did you learn nothing?
No, I deserve absolutely nothing. Except that, like, I never wanted to be uh buried with scarabs, which are those little, like, beetle things, which are
Mm-hmm.
fake apparently. But
But they're in the like hieroglyph stuff, I thought.
maybe they were back in the day. They were real, but not anymore.
Damn.
I don't know. You're telling me that if I had won the lottery this week and got the $1.8 billion, which unfortunately I did not
Did
do.
somebody
Which
win?
here's I did in Arkansas, of course, not California, thankfully, but fucking Arkansas. Which I think I may have fucked up. So I bought a scratcher, right, and I won $2, and on Christmas Eve,
Mm-hmm.
and I had already bought like a Powerball ticket earlier in the day. I
Mm-hmm.
went to go cash that ticket at the machine at one of the gas stations here, and somebody had left $1 in the machine. So there was $1 balance because there was no $1 tickets available for sale. So they
Mm.
couldn't use it. So I cashed my ticket and had a total of $3 in the machine. Normally, my brain would be like, hey, let's buy a Powerball ticket because that's like fate saying, hey, give you an extra $1 and you could buy the ticket. My dumbass just bought a scratcher for $3 and lost.
Honestly, that's what I would have done too.
Yeah, but see, I probably would have won the lottery.
No, probably not.
Okay, so if I had won the lottery and I said, "Hey, Steph, here is $100 million, right?" But
Would you have
the
to deal
caveat,
with the lottery people being like, but one of those dollars weren't yours because of
that's
such a
actually a good point.
substantial win? I wouldn't want to
That's a
mess with
good
that.
point.
What a headache.
That's a
Just
good
win
point.
fair and square with your own money next time. A little scratcher, pff, you win something on that? Nobody's checking into that.
I did win $100 on a scratcher this week. That was awesome.
That's
That was dope.
amazing. I've never even heard of
Yeah.
that. Actually, one time I heard of somebody winning $100,000, but like I've heard of it.
Jesus.
I haven't really seen that.
But so okay, well, let's say I had won the $1.8 billion, right? And I said,
Mhm.
"Hey, Steph, I'm gonna give you $100 million, but the caveat, the only way you get this $100 million, the only way, there's no workaround, no loophole, nothing, is to go with me to a pharaoh's tomb in Egypt for like one night or day. But like we go spend essentially 8 hours touring a bunch of tombs that are out in Egypt, and then you can fly home first
A
class.
group of
Like
people, we're not doing
no,
this.
a tour guide, but like it's just you and I and a tour guide. Like no, not a group. Like just the three of us hanging out in the tombs.
For how much money?
100 million, and you essentially I
Tax
fly
free.
you there.
I want you to pay the taxes.
I'll pay the tax. This is like I'll pay the taxes. I will fly you out in first class so you get like the bed on the plane so you get like super
Yeah,
comfort,
that's
right?
on your time. Don't take
And
out
then,
my
and then you spend, you get there, I let you recover for a day from jet lag, and then you spend the next day 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. with me touring the tombs of these pharaohs.
Yeah, man.
Okay, there we go. Boom. And sorry, I'm gonna throw this last caveat in here. We have to use a Ouija board.
No.
You're gonna forfeit $100 million. Oh my! What if I throw another $100 million just for the Ouija board?
I am not fucking in the Ouija board in tombs. No.
You can sage the hell out of your life.
I
You
can't.
can
There's not enough
sage
sage in the
so much.
world. It's not in the right cultural epicenter. I don't know what to do there.
You can you can pay to have a professional person sage your whole entire life.
I don't know what it's probably so different than just sage there. Like, we fucked. No way. No. My answer's no. Keep your dirty Ouija board money.
Keep your dirty Ouija board money.
Nobody wants it. Well, actually, there's probably some
Somebody
people.
would.
If you want to be included in this, if Holden ever comes up with the funding, please leave some comment or email somewhere. I'm sure he'll find it.
See, you know how Mr. B, I'm sure you see Mr. Beast, his dumb shit content, right?
I'm sure I've heard it.
Or heard of him, where he like pays people to do like outrageous like stunts and like shit like Survivor kind of stuff.
Yeah, it sounds like my kid's favorite stuff.
If I was Jeff Bezos level of wealthy, I would do that, but I would have them do like the spookiest shit in the world. Like, oh, you're gonna spend a night in the catacombs with a tour guide. You won't die, but one night in the catacombs for $1 million.
You'd be the worst. That's all I have to say.
One night, Ouija board in the most haunted cemetery in the world.
Fuck no.
I feel like
Pass.
you're missing out on all this money.
No
Well,
Ouija
we know
board.
what Steph won't do. No Ouija boards. But you spend the night in the catacombs of Paris for $1 million.
No
No
catacombs.
Ouija board?
No catacombs. I've heard too many scary stories of the catacombs. I can't. No. No, I'd never come out. I can't do it.
So, this next one is the curse of Tamerlane's tomb. So the tomb of Tamerlane, the fearsome 14th century conqueror of Central Asia, was undisturbed for centuries in Samarkand. Timur had built his empire through blood and fire, and legend says he demanded the same kind of respect in death. His final resting place was a monument of stone, locked tight, guarded by his own warnings carved into marble. One inscription, discovered much later, allegedly read, "Whoever opens my tomb shall unleash an invader more terrible than I." And so for centuries, no one dared to test it. However, in 1941, the tomb was opened by Soviet archaeologists. They thought they were making a historical discovery or an academic achievement. However, were very wrong when 3 days later, Hitler's armies invaded the Soviet Union in Operation Barbarossa. The timing was uncanny. Newspapers and locals whispered that Timur's curse had been awakened, that the conqueror's spirit had unleashed a force greater than himself. People who had entered the tomb or supervised its opening reportedly died mysteriously or suffered misfortune, though the historical record is kind of vague on that one. The events of the Nazi invasion alone seemed enough to mark the tomb as cursed. The idea that Timur's wrath had transcended centuries became impossible to ignore with the Nazi invasion. The men who had opened the tomb had awakened to power, essentially. They had lain silent for 500 years. And when the Soviets later reburied Timur's remains with Islamic rites, a strange calm returned to Samarkand. The world seemed to exhale as if the conqueror's anger had been temporarily satisfied. But the legend, however, endured, and locals still speak of a warning that cannot be ignored. Disturb his tomb, and forces beyond comprehension may rise. So once they reburied him, that's when the Soviets start essentially turning the tide against the Nazis. Supposedly, a lot of this is like just being told by people over history. It's not like documented the exact time, but like the timing is pretty close. So like, maybe
Maybe.
I would do that. I would go visit his tomb.
No.
What's the worst that could happen, Steph? America's already fucked.
Yeah, but I just don't think there's anything I want to do that, like, what's the worst that can happen? You can live that life.
Maybe, maybe an invasion of America would be welcomed.
Maybe.
Maybe it's necessary.
Maybe.
So this next one is the curse of the tomb of Casimir the Fourth. So this curse did not announce itself with warnings carved into stone like Timur. I didn't need to. It revealed itself slowly, silently, and lethally after the tomb was opened in 1973 beneath Wawel Cathedral in Poland. So King Casimir the Fourth had been dead for nearly 5 centuries, sealed away in darkness, untouched by anybody. When historians and archaeologists finally broke that seal, they believed they were opening a chapter of history. And at first, nothing seemed wrong. The tomb was examined, documented, and studied like countless others. But within months, then years, a disturbing pattern emerged. One by one, people who had worked in the tomb began to fall ill. And these were not minor sicknesses. Healthy researchers developed sudden, aggressive respiratory problems. Strong men suddenly weakened rapidly. Lungs failed, bodies shut down, death came swiftly and without mercy. I like that big cloud of smoke. It was very, it was very suiting.
Yeah, for the lungs. I was like, oh no, I can feel it coming. Oh god.
Over the next decade, at least, and for anyone who's an audio listener, Steff just blew a dope ass cloud of smoke into the camera once I said lungs. So
My
it was
bad.
pretty sick. Over the next decade, at least 15 people connected to the opening of the tomb died. Some passed within weeks of exposure, others lingered briefly before succumbing to violent internal illnesses that doctors struggled to explain at the time. The deaths were so frequent, so tightly clustered around the tomb, that people began to spread rumors throughout academic circles and beyond that it was no coincidence and that the king, it seemed, did not welcome visitors. And what made the curse feel so real was its sheer precision. Not random strangers, not tourists. The death struck those who had entered the tomb, who had breathed its air, who had disturbed the remains of a powerful medieval ruler. He was not a minor king, he was a force in life, ruling Poland during war, expansion, and bloodshed. Some believed his tomb was not merely a grave, but a sealed boundary meant to keep something contained. Those who studied the tomb spoke later of an overwhelming heaviness inside, a sense of pressure, of wrongness, thick air. Breathing felt unnatural. It was as if the space itself resisted intrusion. And by the time the authorities acknowledged the pattern, it was too late. The curse had already claimed its victims. Families mourned. The tomb was sealed again, but the damage was already done. Casimir had been disturbed, and the cost had been paid in lives. Yeah, so now I did a little more digging into this one. Apparently, the official explanation is that when he was buried, essentially, the tomb was sealed with like bacteria and like just the bacteria with like his rotting body with everything else kind of was a perfect brewing ground or mixing pot, melting pot of like just awfulness. And when they opened it and breathed the air, it essentially was a death sentence.
Okay. That that makes sense. My son made this jar last summer, and it has like shells and sand, and it's so cute. It's like tinted blue. It had a light in it. Um yeah, I opened it today cuz he said the light dropped. That smells awful. I am going to be disposing of this the first chance I get, as soon as he won't notice that it's gone. Because we're making something over here. It's
You
beautiful.
you're
It smells bad.
you, that reminds me of like my dad has this really really old, it's probably from like the 40s or 50s, this like Abraham Lincoln cologne bottle. It's like a bust of Abraham Lincoln, and his head pops off, and it's like the cologne, the lid to the cologne,
There's no way
and you
that's
can
good stuff.
Well, I smelled it like, I don't know, a year ago, 2 years ago when I was out there, and it was like it still smelled like cologne. Like
Does he
somehow
refill it?
it. No, he's never used it a day in his life. It's like it's just been sitting on his shelf since he
What?
got it
They
as like a
change
gift.
properties so much over time. I had this Ralph Lauren Cool. I loved that perfume. I don't think they make it anymore. Um, but I had a bottle of it that I would not get rid of. And over time it just the scent like it kind of evaporated and the smell dissipated. It just wasn't good anymore. I was devastated. I don't understand. But there are like reusable perfume bottles. Like I have one right here. You can just like fill it up. And yeah, super cute. But I really like tiny perfume. I have so much tiny perfume.
Basically, everyone for Steph's birthday, we need to get
Yes.
her a bunch of tiny bottles of cologne.
No, perfume.
Oh,
I
sorry,
don't need
perfume.
people. Yeah.
Perfume, not cologne, guys.
Yeah, please. Come on. Like I have that little box closed. I know it's in one of these drawers over here, but I don't need to show off all my tiny bottles. They're just really cute.
So the final one is the curse of Otzi or Otzi the Iceman.
How you spell it?
The curse, Otzi. Z
Okay.
as in zebra. Otzi the Iceman or Otzi. It's got like the umlaut over the O. And I've forgotten since my German days how to pronounce that. I'm pretty sure it's Utzi the
I didn't
Iceman,
take
but I
German.
don't
I
know.
don't know anything.
Well, that's unfortunate.
But I could Google it.
Yeah, Google it. Let's see.
Okay.
Let's see what Google says.
The Iceman, and back then I just used the letters that I knew, which was O, and we called him Otzi. And I got a lot of comments that that is not how you pronounce his name. So I started trying to call him Utzi, and that's a lot closer to the pronunciation. But the native tongue, the locals, this is how they pronounce the Iceman's name. He's called Otzi. Otzi. Repeat it. Otzi. Otzi. Not Otzi, not Otzi, Otzi. So, if any of you are wondering how to properly pronounce the Iceman's name, Otzi.
Okay.
Let's see.
Well, there you go. There. Okay. That's Utsi, right? Utsi, right?
Let's see.
Utsi, Utsi. So
Let's see.
it's
Usman. Utsi. The Usman.
So the curse began in the autumn of 1991 when a frozen body emerged from the melting ice high in the Ut- uh, Utsul Alps. At first, hikers believed they had found the remains of a modern climber. Only later did scientists realize the truth. The man had died more than 5,000 years ago, violently, and his body had been sealed away by the mountain ever since. Some say the ice didn't preserve him by accident. It was holding him there for a reason. Not long after he was disturbed, death began to follow those connected to him. The first to truly alarm people was Helmut Simon, the man who discovered the body. Years after his historic find, he went hiking in the same alpine region. A sudden storm rolled in, visibility vanished, and he fell into a ravine. His body was found days later. Locals whispered that the mountain had taken him back, that Utsi had claimed the one who revealed him. Then the curse seemed to tighten its grip. Kurt Fritz, the experienced mountain guide who helped lead the recovery to Simon's body, died only months later. He was killed in an avalanche, swallowed by snow in the same unforgiving landscape. Two deaths, both tied to Utsi, both claimed by the mountains. To many, This was not a coincidence, it was a pattern. Other deaths followed, each adding weight to the legend. Rainer Henn, the forensic pathologist who handled Ötzi's body and transported it for examination, died in a sudden car crash while traveling to give a lecture about the Iceman. Rainer Hupfel, a scientist who studied Ötzi through X-rays and imaging, later died from a brain tumor. Even Conrad Spindler, the archaeologist who famously mocked the idea of the curse and insisted Ötzi was harmless, eventually died himself. People who couldn't help notice, but that nearly everyone closely involved with Ötzi met an untimely or tragic end. Today, Ötzi lies preserved behind glass in a museum, but many still feel uneasy standing before him, and some say they feel watched. Others report an unshakable sense of dread. The curse, many say, hasn't ended, just gone quiet. Let's go visit this Iceman. So
No,
for $500,000, would you go visit this Iceman?
no. First of all, the money's significantly less, and everybody's died.
Hold on. Only people have
Only.
died. The people who have died were all ones that uncovered the body, had, contact with the body of some kind. No one so far has died from visiting, like in the museum, the body.
I don't
So
think
five
this
hundred
changes
thousand.
things for me.
No.
I don't understand why it's less money.
Well, because
No,
you're not going into a tomb. Like for $100 million, you'd be in a tomb playing with a Ouija board with me, versus
not
five
a
hundred k.
Ouija board. That makes it null and void. I just get money and I get out. That's perfect,
Okay,
honestly. I
so
love when you're up to your antics. Can't fool this girl.
so okay. Here's an alternative scenario. Would you, from a mile away from the body, would you look at the body through binoculars? Like,
But why?
I'm trying to see what I can get you to do. Oh, I didn't mention behind you. I'd have it a Ouija board.
No. You
Let's
have
see
a
if you're
Ouija board.
here.
It's not gonna happen.
If you're here, let's see. Move the Ouija board to the left. But joke's on him. He doesn't understand English, so he wouldn't move it at all.
No Ouija board.
I think he'd be safe though with a Ouija board, like with the Egyptians and like with the pharaohs and this guy, because they don't understand English. They don't know what they're looking at. They wouldn't move the dial.
I think that they don't even have to speak. I think it'd be like what people describe aliens like, where you can hear them in your head. So I'm not gonna fuck with that. You're counting on you knowing what's going on, and I hate to break it to you, and you're wrong. Thank you,
One
the end.
day, one day, I'll get you to agree to an outlandish scenario. Then I'll sneak in a Ouija board. But oh yeah, there's also a Ouija board sitting in the corner.
No,
What about like a board with like letters? It's not a Ouija board. It's like a
no,
board with letters and a
no,
yes or no and
no,
numbers.
no, 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 no.
No.
No, I kept turning into Cookie Monster today with my kids, so I wouldn't be surprised if that comes out.
Cookie Monster.
And my daughter's like, "That's scary," and I was like, "Cookie Monster only wants cookies." And then she's like, That's really, you're scaring me. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. And she goes, you should keep doing it.
Okay, well, now that you said that, you have to do your Cookie Monster voice for all of
No.
us.
That's special.
Okay, I'll Venmo you $10.
You can't pay me off from this is special between me and my kids. No.
Okay, is there any other voice that you do that you haven't done for your kids that you would do for the podcast?
No. Maybe. Maybe someday.
You
Not
heard it
today.
here, ladies and gentlemen. Steph will not do the Cookie Monster or Kermit or
You can
Fozzie the
publicly
Bear
shame me all you want.
or Big Bird. Oh, I'm Big Bird. Or Ernie or Bert or
Publicly shame me all you want.
is there a
Don't care.
is there a Cindy in the Sesame Street, or is it there's there's the what is it, Groucho? Grouchy trash monster. I don't remember his name. Oscar the Grouch. There we go. Oscar the
Yeah,
Grouch.
I was like, I don't feel like you're even close.
I think there's a Rosalia. I'm pretty sure there's like an Amber.
I don't know. Those don't sound familiar at all.
Unbelievable.
I know, but we didn't watch like a ton of Sesame Street. I felt like it was like a spin-off of Sesame Street with Elmo, and it was a hotel, but I can't think of what it was.
A spin-off of Sesame Street with Elmo, but a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
All I can think of is like Welcome to Hotel Hell or something.
Is welcome to something, and they would sing this welcome song, and yeah, my son watched it all the time, but I think they removed it off of Netflix before, or Hulu or something, before my daughter got to it.
You know what I hope? I hope one day when Sesame Street has been in the public domain for long enough that somebody makes a horror movie or a series or whatever of like Sesame Street.
Why are you like this?
You imagine like Elmo, like the
Who hurt
psychotic
you?
chainsaw wielding murderer.
Yeah, I saw that with the Rugrats and with Winnie the Pooh. Like, I've always wondered what's it like to be one of those people that like wanted this. So tell me about yourself.
Well, okay, so when I was born, okay,
There
so
were some issues.
I watched Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, the first movie. There's two, I think.
Mm,
It's not very good. It's very hastily made. Could have been better. Very
really?
poor.
Mm,
But apparently they're making a Peter Pan horror film where I think I told you this, where Tinkerbell is like a crack addict who is like
yeah, I think you should tell me this.
trying to get a fix, and Peter's like, I don't know the rest of the story, but it's a horror, and I will probably see it because I love horror.
You're fun.
I am so much fun. I am like on a scale of 1 to 10, I am like a 15 on the fun scale.
You just made the scale and then you couldn't even listen to your own scale.
I am an excellent fun person. I have so many fun ideas, so many fun comments that are hilarious or
That
witty.
just sounds like exactly what a fun sucker would say. Doesn't it? Yes.
What
We all agreed.
fun sucker? Sounds awful. That sounds much different than uh but okay, so So, uh, thank you to everyone who stuck around this long to listen to us ramble and go off track. And Stephanie's squeezing a.
Well, it's a
What are
giant
you squeezing?
strawberry, but within one day, my son broke my daughter's giant squeezy strawberry.
Oh man.
Yeah, I have to Gorilla Glue it. I tried hot glue and it didn't work. So we're gonna try Gorilla Glue. That's fun.
Well, thank you everyone who joined us today, and we'll see you all next week.
Bye.